Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. We're gonna skip our usual intro today because this isn't drama, this isn't tea, these are some very serious allegations that are going towards James Charles. If you haven't seen my previous video titled The Tea Overflow where I talk about a lot of different topics, definitely go check that out. I will link that in a card up over here as well as down in the description box down below, so definitely make sure you go and check that out as well. Before we get into this James Charles drama, I do want to talk about Tana Mojo issuing a statement about something that I talked about in my last video. Now, if you know, Tana Mojo has been out partying a lot lately, and people are getting called out for going out to all these parties during the situation that is going on in the world today. Tana Mojo has been going out partying non-stop, and people have been calling her out about it, and she's finally addressing that. Now, before even all this, Tana said that she was going to sit down and she had several videos to make, and she wanted to talk about past issues that have been coming up, such as racism and tweets that she was sending towards her friend Mari, and yet we have still not got any of those videos. So not only is Tana going out and partying, she is telling her fans that she's going to address these serious topics that people have been bringing up, and she has not done any of that. And I'm just like, seriously, Tana? You're not using your platform to talk about this situation that you said you were going to talk about. Instead, you're going out and partying and having fun during a very serious time that's going on in the world, and you have time to sit down and type out this little message, but yet you can't get on your platform and speak about this situation that's going on now in the world. And on top of that, you said that you're going to address all these other allegations, but you still have yet to do so. All right, let's go ahead and get on into Tana's statement. Tana's statement reads, "Partying / going to any social gathering during a global was such a careless and irresponsible action on my behalf. I fully hold myself accountable for this and will be staying inside. Actions like that don't deserve a platform, and I want to fully apologize and be better for this. I'm sorry. While Erica and I were referring to past drama in our video, the topic no longer matters. I need to be a better example in person." I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting sick and tired of these apologies from influencers for doing things that are dumb that everybody else in the world knows that they don't need to be doing. All of these influencers are going out and partying and having a good time while the rest of us are sitting at home worried about what's going on in the world, and they are just living life like nothing is going on. It just seems like every day some new influencer is out at a party, and then the next day they issue a statement and they're like, "I'm so sorry, I want to be a better person." Well, here's an idea. How about you be a better person? Instead of going out and partying during the situation that's going on in the world, you sit at home like the rest of the world is doing unless they absolutely need to be going out. There's no reason for you to be going out to these parties and hanging out with your friends just because you are bored and you want to go out. It's time to grow up and start acting like adults instead of children. Okay, now let's go ahead and switch on over to the situation that is going on with James Charles. A TikToker has uploaded a video to YouTube where he is talking about the situation that happened between him and James Charles. This person is underage, and they said that James Charles knew this, but yet continued to have conversations with James Charles and send him inappropriate photos. In his video, he told James that he was underage at the beginning of the conversation, and then James said to add him on Snap. He went on later in the video to say that he doesn't have proof that he told James that he was underage, but he said that he did tell him. Now, my thing is that if he was talking to James before he added him on Snap, then where are these messages? How were you talking to him? Was this through text message or was this through Instagram? Because if so, then you would be able to go back and get those messages. So I'm not sure why he doesn't have proof of this, because he said that he didn't think that he needed to have proof of this because he didn't think that this was going to go to this situation. But if these are messages that were sent back and forth, then you would have proof of them because they would be in your messages. So I'm not exactly sure why he says that he can't show proof of these messages, because they should be there unless they were deleted for some reason. Now, in this video, this guy showed several screenshots of their DMs, but the one thing that stuck out to me about these DMs is that it looks like James is having a one-sided conversation. Everything in these screenshots is nothing but a message from James, and you can tell that he's replying to things, but all the replies are not there. So I don't know if this person went through and deleted all of his replies to James Charles, or if he was sending voice messages or what. I have no idea how DMs on Instagram work, if you can send voice messages like that, but the fact that there's only James's message in these screenshots, to me, is concerning. I'm not trying to say that this isn't true or that this didn't happen. This is just something that stuck out to me in the video. Now, in the video, he did show a Snapchat that is supposed to be from James Charles, and then you can see a video of James Charles, and in the video, you can see James Charles showing his backside to this person, and I have seen this before. I've seen the picture of it that James posted onto social media, but this was an actual video. This was not a picture. So this wasn't somebody who was pretending to be James Charles and sending this. He actually showed him going into the message and showing that it was from James Charles' official account. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on because, like I said, I haven't seen an actual video of that photo. I only saw the photo that James posted to his Twitter after his account got hacked and people were threatening to release his photos, and he said that he doesn't have any except for this one, so here it is. Now, what I think that James Charles needs to do before he starts to chat with somebody, or when he starts to chat with somebody, is he needs to get on Google and just enter their name and see if there's any information about them. If this is somebody who is on TikTok or on YouTube or on Twitter and they have a decent amount of following, they are most likely going to be on the internet, and there's going to be information about their birthday, so that way you can figure out around what their age is. You can also ask that person, hey, can you send me a picture of your ID? You can block out your address and stuff. I just want to see your physical ID with your birthday on it so I can prove how old you are, so that way I don't get into any kind of trouble, because I want to make sure that you are legally of age, because there was a similar situation where this happened to James over on Twitter. Here's a tweet that James Charles was replying to, and you can see it in the screenshot. Here's what he says. James Charles replied to a tweet from Face Sway that says, "You look kinda good," and then did a follow-up tweet that says, "Oops, I take it back. I had no idea you were 16. Sorry, LMAO." Just typed into Google Face Sway age, and this instantly popped up, so you can see here that it says that Face Sway is 16. So James, one thing that I need to say is just do a little bit more research. Look into these people. If people are messaging you and they want something from you, or they want to meet you, or they are interested in you, you need to turn around and do a little bit more research or ask for proof of age before you start to engage in any kind of deep conversation where you might think that they are interested in you. And also, you know that people are going to slide into your DMs to try to get clout so that way they can turn around and make videos, so you need to make sure that you are protecting yourself. On top of that, we know that James loves to hook up with people on the DL. He recently went on Logan Paul's podcast where he says that he was hooking up with some TikTok star on the DL. And the fact that James went onto this podcast and put out that information, it's like, James, these people are on the DL because they don't want people to know at this time that they are interested in hooking up with a guy. And maybe they might not never ever want this information out. So for you to go out there and say that you've been hooking up with some big TikTok star on the DL, that's not fair to that person that you were hooking up with. They most likely told you that they were not comfortable and didn't want anybody to know, but then you go onto another big platform and you talk about what happened. Yes, you didn't say who it was, but then that turns around to lead to people to speculate about who it was about, and that wasn't fair to anybody that you hang around with, because then people are going to suspect that it might be that person. If you want to hook up with people on the DL, then that's fine, but don't turn around and go onto a podcast and talk about it. And also before, in a video that he did with Shane Dawson and Ryland Adams, he talked about, again, hooking up with a guy on the DL, and he talked about hooking up with straight guys and how he's obsessed with straight guys, and Ryland was like, well, that's never going to lead to a relationship, and his response was, well, not with that attitude. James, find yourself a masculine gay guy who is into guys who are into beauty. They are out there. It is a thing. There are plenty of different people who like different people for different reasons. You can find yourself a masculine gay guy who is actually interested in you. Now, I was watching Nick Snyder's video, and you know what? He said it perfectly in his video, so let's take a listen to what Nick Snyder had to say over in his video.
Something I do want to say is, James, please stop messing around with all these boys. You are, I've said this in a video before, you are James Charles. Millions of dollars, successful career, amazing house out there in California, wherever the hell you live. Why are you messing around with all these young people? Is it because you can give them something and you want to be the powerful one in the relationship? I'm not exactly sure. Get yourself a man, girl, a man. Fuck a man. Get yourself a doctor. Get yourself a lawyer. Hell, get yourself a CEO of some company. Stop messing around with all these boys that at the end of the day, they're just going to break your heart. You know that there's going to be a video from you in a few years, probably, after you date one of them, that's going to be, they used me for clout, or they did this, they did that. Girl, save yourself the struggle, get yourself a successful man, your life will be amazing.
Thank you, Nick. I don't think I could have said it better myself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who is older. That way you don't have to have these secret relationships behind the scenes or be hooking up with people on the DL. Just find yourself somebody who is out and who is comfortable with themselves as a person. And somebody who wants to be with you publicly. Just because these people are turning around and saying like, oh, I want to hang out with you, I really like you, unless they're willing to put that out publicly, then you need to say, you know what, if you don't want to be seen with me publicly, or if you don't want to be labeled as gay, or if you don't want to be labeled as bisexual, then maybe us being together is not going to work. I don't know if he saw the relationship between Jeffree Star and Nate, and how Nate was only with women before he met Jeffree Star, and he was like, you know what, Nate is exactly the kind of guy that I want. He's a straight acting guy, and that's the kind of guy that I want to be with. I don't know if he saw that and he's like, that's the kind of relationship that I want, but that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from all of this, and I'm just like, James, you need to stop. What happened with Jeffree and Nate is like 1 in a million. Yes, it happens, but most likely with you and your celebrity status, you are going to draw in a lot more people who just want the attention. When Jeffree and Nate got together, Jeffree didn't have his makeup empire like he has now. Jeffree was just starting his business. So Nate wasn't after him for the attention, the money, and the clout. Yes, Jeffree was still a celebrity because of his music, but at the same time, he didn't have all the money that he does now. So a lot of people will see you and be like, hey, I wonder if I can slide into James's DMs and maybe I can get something from him. You need to make sure that you are very careful with the people who are messaging you and the people that you message back, and also protect yourself and make sure you find out how old they are so that way things like this don't happen if this actually did happen. But that is everything that I have for today's video, so I'd love to know what you think about everything down in the comments below. What do you think about Tana and her apology? Are you sick of all these influencers going out to these parties and then turning around and issue an apology the next day and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I guess I just wasn't thinking, I'll do better? What do you think about what is going on with James Charles and this person who is accusing him of messaging him and sending him inappropriate photos? Let me know what you think about everything down in the comments below. If you like this video, please make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, I greatly appreciate it if you could hit that big red subscribe button and hit the bell icon and set your notifications to all so you'll be notified of every time I upload a new video. Alright, that's everything for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!